All right. The first one's from Jason Turpin from Mint Hill, North Carolina. Hey guys, Violent J has been telling a story in a bunch of podcasts about Goldberg attacking Evan Courageous before a show. I posted an IG clip taken from Paz's show below. Courageous responds to comments saying most of the story wasn't true and called Violent J a mark. Take a listen and keep it 100 what actually happened. Also, I know Courageous was a small guy, but you don't become a D1 wrestler being how tough was he? Thanks. And that's Jason Turpin from Mint Hill, North Carolina. I'll tell you what about Evan Courageous was a southern, North Carolina, kind of like in the Shane Helms type mode. Those people that they'll fight you. Like no matter how big you are, if you feel like because you grew up in the South, like one thing about the South, I don't know about other parts of the country, but bro, you very often see smaller guys like willing to stand up for themselves against bigger guys and just throw down. They don't care. It's like I guess you especially like in the rural South, you got to fight a lot. But he was kind of like a southern. He was kind of a redneck a little bit, pretty boy, but he probably had to fight a lot growing up. But I could absolutely, I don't know, I don't remember this story, but I could absolutely see him not backing down from Goldberg. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
To play this clip.
This talked about one day we were in the arena before doors open, and Goldberg was standing by the ring, and he had a pair of sweats on, and he had his hands in his sweats, cupping his. Like we all do. Sometimes we're just chilling with our hand on whatever.
Yeah.
Evan Courageous came walking up to Goldberg. And he's like, "What's up, man?" He goes to give him a dap. Goldberg pulls his hand off and goes to give him the dap. And Evan Courageous goes, "Oh, no, And for whatever reason, Goldberg took offense to that. Snatched him by the neck and choke slammed him over the guardrail and onto the floor next to his feet. I mean, this is a body on concrete. You know what I'm saying? And Goldberg, Courageous jumped up and ran away. And then he got it, collected himself, and he came back and sat next to us. And he was like, "See that?" We're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Man,
that's enough. That's enough.
So he said,
I think that's very exaggerated. I could see something similar to that happening, but I think it's exaggerated.
He said, look up Evan's response, which I thought might have been a video, but it's just a.
What did Evan say in the response?
It's just a comment. He said,
I'm supposed to read it.
I know. Hang on. The guy's
incredible. He brings it up and he doesn't say what it is.
I'm setting it up. All he said was about 1% is true. Everything else is a work. He's such a mark. MARC.
I can see. Yeah.
So let me just tell you this. I doubt that happened because we would have heard about it. There's no way no wrestler would have grabbed another wrestler and choke slammed them over the ropes and nobody knew about it.
Okay? Over the guardrail.
Over the guardrail. Okay, that's even, me and Goldberg, we were always cool, like whip with each other. Like I haven't told this story in a long time, but when he first came to WCW, I was the only one that had a shaved head. And then he was like, "Hey man, I want to know if you wouldn't get mad if I shaved my head." And I go, "No, go for it. What's the big deal?" He goes, "Oh, because DDP told me that I wouldn't look good like that." I go, with no offense to DDP, but he isn't exactly somebody I would be asking about cool. Go ask Hall and Nash, and they'll let you know. So we were always cool. And I even remember when we went to the Georgia Dome. Remember when we sold out the Georgia Dome disco?
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I completely forgot that.
Yeah. So what was I going to tell you? Okay, so that day we were like in this room together. It was just me and him. And he was really hot at that time. And I remember he was telling me, "Yeah, man, I'm having trouble negotiating." And I go, "Negotiating? You're the man right now. They should give you anything you want." He goes, "Oh, well, they're really making it hard." He goes, "You're the man." Because that was probably at the time I was the hottest and I was selling a lot of merch. And I go, "Yeah, I'm not going to get paid more because I got mega heat with Eric. So I know that's not happening." But I did see him one day. He was in the locker room. He was mad. As you know, Goldberg was quite usually mad, and because they were always with him. And I remember that I was outside the door, and Evan Courageous went in, and he kicked him out of the dress. He kicked him out of his room because he had his own like little room there. And then I came in to tell him something, and he goes, "Get out!" And I was like to myself,
"But yeah, Bird, he was very like
right."
Yeah. So Brian Dunlap, Scott Hall versus Goldberg. Howdy K100. A few weeks ago, Konnan mentioned that Scott Hall would always get Goldberg triggered. What would Hall do to elicit such a reaction? Was he cracking jokes or pulling pranks on the big man? Heard Kurt Hennig was a prolific prankster, a menace. Was Razor Ramon anything like that? How was it like hanging out backstage with Hall, Mr. Perfect, and Goldberg in WCW? Best regards, Brian from the USA. Well, Hall and Perfect were... Perfect was a silent ribber. He would do ribs on people you wouldn't know it was him. Hall would rib you right to his face, or right to your face in front of a group of people, just embarrass you. Like we'd be at a bar, we'd be at the hotel bar, and the bar's about as big as maybe like a nice big living room, okay? You know, there's the hotel bar, but there's like 20, 25, 30 people in there, right? Raven would be on one end of the room, which is not too far away from Hall, but Hall would be on the other end. Raven would be talking to a girl, and Hall would be like, "Hey, Raven, did you get that thing cleared up from when you were with that other girl last week? You know, that thing." It's like yelling across the room, I guess. But,
bro,
yeah.
Let me tell you, Scott Hall had zero filter. And I remember one time we were in a bar and Adam Baum, or what was his name in WCW disco?
Chronic.
No, Wrath. And then he was Brian Clark.
Okay. Well, he was sitting next to us. As you know, the guy's very big. Right. And always kind of like in a bad mood. And so I didn't even know this. He goes, what a mark, Wrath is. And I go, why? He goes, he went to WWE and got a tattoo, and you could see it of Adam Baum.
Tattoo,
right. Yeah. Right. And so Goldberg, he was always with him. Always.
Well, let me tell you why Goldberg had a lot of heat with Scott Hall, though.
Right.
Okay. I believe... Maybe you know the story, maybe know the details. I don't know.
Oh, the Emily thing?
Yeah, because Emily Sherman was Brad Siegel's niece. Right. She was Jewish.
Tell people who Brad Siegel was in case they didn't know.
Yeah, he used to run WCW. He was like the guy in charge of ran WCW. Did you anyway the stuff the show?
And Hall loved the fact that he was dating his niece.
Right? So he was dating Emily Sherman, and who I was always cool with.
Very cool girl.
Yeah, and Hall made like some anti-Semitic jokes around her and stuff, everything. And Goldberg's Jewish,
right?
Goldberg heard it, I think Hall made a joke about the ovens or something.
Right.
And Goldberg kind of they were like that from that point on. Goldberg didn't have a lot of respect for Scott.
Bro, I used to drive Scott Hall around to the next town with Emily in the back seat.
Right.
Okay, he was quite abusive. And I had to tell him to chill out a couple times because the girl was cool.
Right.
And she didn't give a if he was Scott Hall. She just liked him because he's a likable, funny guy. He
would get drunk and verbal abuse her and shit. Right. He'd call her.
Right. Yeah, enough is enough.
Right,
dude.
enough is enough.
Okay?
Right, yeah.
She's not doing anything wrong to you.
Yeah,
she was
a mean drunk.
Right, exactly. And if I said if she was go ham on her, but she was cool. But he would always love to call Goldberg a mark.
Right.
Bro, that set him off like you have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.